scorecard and see that we are not living in the alignment that we know we should, then that is the exact time when we realize we've got to tighten up that game that we're playing, this game of life. We've got to, in some way, reconcile that which is to be with that which is in your experience right now. And there is a difference. There is a difference, and one of the ways in which you hear that there is a difference is if you're still in the blame game. If we're still blaming that which is outside of us for things that have taken place in our experience that no longer appeal to us. If we're blaming that which has happened in our life experience as we were coming through this life experience, and blaming, that's giving power to that which is outside of us. And with a booming voice, I heard Brother Tete in one of the experiences say, "And so what?" And so what? It sounded as though he was a little, and I've been carrying this around for a long time because it still hurts, and he said, "So what?" The pain that you're experiencing is the good pain because it will move you into something. And if you don't move into something or going into some direction or going forward or upward, or then you're going and being pushed downward. And the interesting thing about being pushed downward is that it goes fast. It goes much faster than the spiraling upward. But once you get so far down, you see the only way is up. And therein is the more difficult process. So when you're in that almost in-between zone, it's much easier to bounce off of that than to bounce off the basement floor. So the continual process of evolving is what is in order. So it's time for a change. And we lightly say that that change is taking place within our experience now. It definitely is. And we don't discount the change that we've made. We don't discount that which is taking place and going on before us. We continue on the journey. In spite of the discomfort, the dis-ease, the dissatisfaction, we continue going forward. And when you look up, you'll find that there are helps along the way. There are those that we gently call angels in our lives. Those who have made their appearance when we least expect it. Those who just said, "I'm here for you. Maybe this will help." But in order to even hear the angels, you've got to have an ear that's toned to goodness. An ear that can hear the goodness. There was something that Brother Tete shared with all of us at one point, and that was when he was talking about the 5 senses. And he said to us and invited us to listen to what our dominant sense is. We have these earthly 5 senses because we were called to come here, and this is one of the blessings we were given, the senses. Our 5 senses allows us to navigate the earthly plane, but there's one thing about it. There's a dominant sense that we carry. Of the 5. And he encouraged us in October and again yesterday to get to know what your dominant sense is. Because if your dominant sense happens to be visualization, sight, and your partner's dominant sense happens to be touch, then it's kind of difficult sometimes when you two try to communicate, especially if you're telling him all the time. But the senses are important for us to continue on the earthly plane, for us to know how we operate. So we're talking about hearing the angel. Maybe we're seeing the angel. Maybe we're feeling the angel. Maybe there's a taste that comes to your mind when you see this angel. Whatever it is that helps you to express more fully who you are. Whatever it is for you to be able to communicate more openly with your partner, your business and your partner, your boss, whoever it is, because we have to interact with each other. We're not on the Himalayan mountains. And sometimes we wish we were, because there's peace up there. And for those who are auditory, it's quiet up there. But we're not. We're here to work through that which needs to be worked through on this planet Earth. To give support to those who are in power, or going or seeking power, or to be in power, who are helping to guide this nation, this city, this township, that we are able to hear what they're saying. We're able to offer support to them as they're saying what needs to be said. That's our role. In essence, it's getting to know ourselves before we set the dial on that clock which registers time. Before we identify that space of time that we're occupying is right on time for us. To identify the space that we're occupying. To identify the energy that we're bringing to the time and the space. And to identify the circumstances we find ourselves in because of the time and space that we set and the energy we brought to it. All of this works together for good. All of this is a wholeness pattern that has been laid out before us, that is beckoning us to join in the game. It's time for a change. But the change starts within each one of us. It's not outside of us. It's for us to identify who we are and how that change is going to take place. Let us right now